So, what if you could build a real, genuine connection with just about anyone? Well, that's exactly the promise of one of the most famous books ever written on this stuff, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And today, we're going to unlock 5 of its most powerful and totally timeless keys. You know those people, right? The ones who just seem to click with everyone they meet. They can walk into any room and bam, people are just drawn to them. It honestly feels like they have a superpower, but here's the cool part. It's not. It's actually a skill, and it's one that anyone can learn. And you know what the best part is? These secrets, they're not some new complicated formula. They actually come from a book that was written all the way back in 1936. Can you believe that? It just goes to show you that the basics of how people connect haven't really changed at all. So, you're ready for the first key? All right, our first key is a really big one. It's a fundamental shift in how you think. It's all about this: moving away from judging and finding fault, and instead just trying to get where the other person is coming from. Okay, so here's the thing about criticism: it almost never works. Seriously. When we criticize someone, even if we're 100% right, it doesn't actually make them want to change. It just makes them feel attacked? And then their pride kicks in, their ego gets bruised, and they immediately go on the defensive. It's a total gut reaction, all emotion, no logic. Just look at the difference here. It's pretty stark, right? On one side, you've got criticism, which almost always leads to resentment and just damages relationships. But on the other side, understanding. And that does the complete opposite. It builds connection, it invites people to open up. It's a simple choice, really, but the results are worlds apart. You know, even Abraham Lincoln had to learn this lesson the hard way. When he was younger, he was apparently notorious for publicly criticizing his political opponents. And one time, he ticked a guy off so much that he was challenged to a literal sword duel. I'm not kidding. That incident was a massive wake-up call for him. From that day on, Lincoln made it a personal rule to try and understand people instead of just condemning them. Okay, so if criticizing people doesn't work, then what does? Well, our second key is one of the quickest ways to just totally diffuse a tense situation and maybe even turn an opponent into a friend. And it's all about just admitting when you're wrong. So, Carnegie tells this great personal story about this exact thing. See, he had this little dog that he loved to walk in a park nearby, and he'd always let him off the leash, even though it was technically against the rules. But the park was almost always empty, so he figured, what's the harm? Well, one day a police officer spots him and gives him a really stern warning. Carnegie promises he'll keep the dog on the leash, but you know how it is, he pretty quickly slipped back into his old habit. And of course, wouldn't you know it, he gets caught again by the exact same officer. He was totally busted. At that moment, he had a choice. He could argue, make excuses, or he could try something totally different. And before the officer could even get a word out, Carnegie just jumps in and owns it completely. He basically says, "Officer, you've caught me red-handed. I am guilty. I've got no excuses, no alibis. You warned me." He literally started scolding himself before the cop even had a chance. And the effect? It was instantaneous. The officer's entire vibe just changed. He went from this stern figure of authority, ready to write a ticket, to this kind, understanding guy. He actually started defending Carnegie, saying things like, "Oh, well, it's just a little dog." And in the end, he just let him go with a smile. Totally disarmed him. See, by admitting you're wrong, quickly and without any excuses, you just take all the fight out of the other person. There's nothing for them to push against. The book claims this technique is so incredibly powerful that it works, get this, 99 times out of 100. All right, our third key taps into something that Dale Carnegie says is one of the deepest, most powerful cravings we have as human beings. And it's not what you think. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's this simple, profound need to feel appreciated. I mean, just think about it for a second. What really drives people to do incredible things? It's that craving to be noticed, to be appreciated. That desire is the fuel behind so much of what we accomplish, from climbing the highest mountains and writing timeless novels to building massive companies. We all just want to feel valued. You know, a simple, genuine thank you or a specific compliment about something someone did, that can be way more powerful than any other reward. It builds this incredible loyalty and just makes people want to be on your team. But, and this is a really big but, it has to be sincere. It has to be real. We all have this built-in radar for fake flattery, right? And the second we detect it, our guard goes right up. Real, sincere appreciation comes from actually taking a moment to find something you genuinely admire about the other person. Okay, get ready for a secret that sounds completely backwards, but trust me, it is so incredibly effective. If you want other people to find you interesting, stop trying so hard to be interesting. Instead, become intensely interested in them. So, what does that look like? Well, a great conversation isn't about you showing off how smart or clever you are. It's about making the other person feel seen and heard. So ask them questions about what they love. Encourage them to talk about themselves and their stories. And here's the big one. Really listen. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. You know who was a master at this? Sigmund Freud. He was legendary for his ability to listen. He would show such intense, focused interest in his patients that they felt completely safe, safe enough to share their deepest, most private secrets. Now that is the power of making it all about the other person. All right, we've arrived at our final key. And this one might just be the simplest, the fastest, and the most universal tool you have for making a great first impression. You know that old saying, actions speak louder than words? Well, it's totally true. Before you even open your mouth, your body language is already talking. And the single most powerful signal you can send, it comes from your face. I'm talking about a smile. A real, genuine smile just screams warmth and acceptance. It's like a universal welcome sign that tells people, hey, I'm friendly, I'm approachable. Think about it. When someone smiles at you, you just instinctively feel better, right? And you're way more likely to like them back. It's an instant connection, no words required. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of our 5 keys to connection. Number 1, stop criticizing, start understanding. Number 2, admit you're wrong fast. 3, give honest, sincere appreciation. 4, become interesting by getting interested in other people. And number 5, don't forget the simple, disarming power of a smile. Look, these aren't just nice ideas to think about. They are actual, practical tools you can start using literally the second this is over. So my question to you is this. Which one of these keys are you going to put into practice today? Just pick one, try it out, and just see what kind of difference it makes. Thanks for joining me.